watching our channel. We are RensKaiseTV. I am Casey.
And I am Ren.
So, as you guys know, we straight shooters. We don't sugarcoat nothing. We jump straight into the video. So, recently we watched this show on TLC, which I think is called Living in Transition or something like that. In Transition, something like that. And we kind of seen some things that kind of bothered us.
And no, we're not complaining about the representation of trans people. I'm all for it.
I am too, because if this is your first time watching again, I am a trans man, so I appreciate that they have it on TV, but
there's a few voices that are missing. I mean, I know it's just the first episode, so I'm hoping that it gets better from here.
Or that the season overall will be good.
But the first episode, it was only white appearing, white passing. I'm pretty sure they were all white, but in case they aren't, white appearing trans women.
Trans women. And they're older trans women, which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being an older trans person, but a lot of the views of their partners were very outdated and made me feel very uncomfortable.
And no, this is not a rant against trans women. We love trans women, and their stories deserve to be elevated. But there tends to be an oversaturation of trans women in the media.
Of white trans women in the media.
Well, no, because even with black, you're more likely to see a black trans woman than a black trans man in the media as well, too.
Yeah, but we talked about that in one of our previous videos, so you can go ahead and watch that as well.
Like, it just makes us very uncomfortable. Like, TLC has done a very good job, minus the Duggars, of being very representative and elevating stories that need to be heard, but what about trans men? And like, we don't even really talk about black trans people in love because it happens. You may get like one little mention on the social media gossip site about, oh, Laverne Cox is in a relationship, or here's a Maya Scott's boo, but that's not anything. While we're all up in everyone else's business, what about trans relationships? They do exist.
They do exist, and we do thrive in our relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I guess because it's the fact that we are trans, that we aren't in, I guess, our right bodies, and I use right in air quotes because there's no right way to be a trans person, or how you can present in your body as a trans person. I guess because it's not conventional cis-het relationships that the media doesn't want to talk about it. And on top of that, the fact that we're black and we're not in cis-het relationships, it makes a lot of people uncomfortable, but at the same time, we have stories, and our stories do need to be heard.
And like, I know you're saying, wow, why don't I go to other stations that have representation of black trans men? There aren't any.
They have them, but they're all online. They aren't on our TV sets to where we can sit there and watch them every week or so. And it makes us uncomfortable because it's just like Ren said, it's oversaturated with trans women.
When is the last time you saw a black trans man on your TV or heard about a new black trans celebrity that's a man? Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't recall. I mean, there's a few instances where it's mentioned, but it's like kind of brushed past. Like
on the show we was watching, I've seen one black trans man on the TV show, and they kind of touched on the fact that he was trans in that episode, but they didn't go into detail. They just they hinted at it, but they kept going, I guess because they didn't want to make their viewers uncomfortable, but at the same time, our stories need to be heard.
Why do we care so much about making people uncomfortable? We've had black lesbian voices be elevated, black gay men voices be elevated, and to an extent, black trans women's stories be elevated. When are black trans men's stories going to be told? Their stories are very different. They deal with stuff that black trans women won't deal with, or don't have to deal with, because it's learning two different things, or stepping into two different types of things.
Because a lot of black trans men were socialized as girls growing up, so now you have to, because you've been socialized as a girl your whole life, you're living your life as who you really are, so you have to basically, you're undoing everything they've taught you that's feminine to be who you really are. At the same time, we see it from both sides because we were raised to be feminine, to be a girl, to be a woman. But now that we're men, we see how we get treated as men, but we don't want to mistreat other women. Because we know how it feels to be a woman.
And then just also the negative portrayal of people in relationships with trans people. I get it, especially for older generations. It's a hard concept. But for many of the younger generations, it's a thing.
It's a thing. We're phobias. We're not phobias. We're fetishes. Sometimes we are phobias to some people. Some people might say some transphobic things. They might think transphobic things because they see us as it. Because we present one way, but our biological makeup or our reproductive organs or the organs we were born with. So we might appear as a man, but we still have vaginas. Yes, people, men with vaginas do exist. It's not a concept, it's a real thing. Get over it.
So yeah, it's a different experience. Like, I get the stories of older trans people are extremely important, but not when they're one-sided.
Exactly. Not when you want to transition and your partner's just like, no, I don't want to date. I'm not a lesbian. I don't want to date a woman. I want to date a man with a penis. Hearing that on TV, it made me feel the type of way because it's just like, if you're in love with this person, you're in love with that person, not what they have physically, sex-wise, to offer you. If you're in love with the person, you're in love with them and everything that they come with. That's what kind of threw me off because I was like, you can't say this to someone. And in a lot of these instances, these people do have children.
And they've been married for years.
Like
not
20 plus years. I understand that you married one person, but you have to also see it from the person you married side. They've been carrying this secret their whole life. So they've been carrying that on top of starting a family with you. It's not that easy.
I mean, the show, it was a good concept. I really wish TLC would have took a little bit more time to like think about casting and make sure that their casting was representative of all trans people in the whole trans experience. Because like I said, the experience for an older trans white woman is very different than the experience of a younger trans black man. Especially when it comes to love and relationships, there's different nuanced things. And it seemed like almost all the couples started out as het couples where it was one cis guy, one cis woman before they transition. And that's not how it always starts out. That's not how it always happens.
Exactly. I know trans people who were gay or lesbian before they even decided to transition. Not every trans story is cis het. Mm-hmm. There are plenty of gay trans stories. There are plenty of lesbian trans stories.
We're one.
Exactly. In our case, we were a lesbian couple once upon a time before I realized that I'm not a girl. I don't identify with anything feminine. I don't like presenting feminine. I was not feminine. Nothing in my mind or body screamed out feminine before I transitioned. So once I realized that I was not a girl, I started my transition. Hence our relationship. I'm a trans guy. I do still have certain body parts that women have. We're not in a cis-het relationship. Even though I am starting to become more passing, people assume that I am cis now because of my outer appearance, that they assume we're in a cis relationship. They hear me talk, they see my facial hair, they assume that I'm a cis guy. No. Do I feel the need to out myself to people? No. But we're not in a cis-het relationship. But if you didn't know us, you wouldn't know that. I feel like a lot of our stories need to be heard.
So, I mean, I know you're saying we could probably make our own stories, but it's not that easy. Who has that kind of money and funding and those resources?
And to the people who have these various media outlets online, I applaud you guys. I wish big networks would pick up what you guys are putting out and you guys can collaborate to get our stories put on television.
I mean, even to the people that have online platforms, a lot of them are still either gay or lesbian, and like they mention the trans thing, but they always don't do it in the best way. But that's a whole nother video.
I think it's the start, though.
It is a start, but there's a stereotype of a trans person on those internet shows and on those online web platforms. Usually, for trans men, a very rough guy, yeah. But that's a whole nother.
I wouldn't mind seeing. I would actually love seeing gay trans men on TV because gay trans men exist. And I know people are probably like, well, if you're just gonna date a cis guy, why would you transition? It's not even about that. You want your gender identity to match who you are as a person. It doesn't do with your sexual preference. Okay, yes, gay trans women, lesbian trans women exist too. It's a thing. People don't transition to date to be in a cis-assumed relationship. No. People transition to make their gender identity match with who they are on the inside.
And I know we ranted quite a bit, but that show we like the show for now, but it bothered us a little bit.
So if you guys have any ideas on how we can get this together, if any of you guys create anything, if you guys feel the need to create shows that represent us, the black LGBTQIA community of color with different narratives of stories, we greatly appreciate that, because we need it in the media.
We do. I get tired of looking at what's assumed as normal relationships. It gets so boring. It's not who I am.
It's not who I am either. I don't like unconventional stories. But we're going to leave you guys here who are RensKaiseTV. Comment, like, subscribe, follow us on our social media if you don't already do so.
Until next time.
See you guys in the next video.